It was quite the busy weekend for the Calgary Flames, and the rumor mill was going crazy. Could we see the first Flames trade in 7 months this week?
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess Belmosto, and thank you so much for joining me today. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL to save $20 off of your first purchase. Today, we're going to be talking about the huge 3-0 win over the reigning Stanley Cup champions, as well as maybe Kaapo Kakko being on the move and what would the Rangers be looking for in return, as well as other things that are on our radar that we should be paying attention to. Before we dive into all of that, though, please make sure you are subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. Let's dive right into this because Saturday's game was fun. It was a great bounce back win after that 8-3 demoralizing loss to the other Florida team. I did not expect this type of performance out of the Flames. I mean, we know that they pull off crazy stunts whenever, and it's kind of like a Hail Mary anytime they do play a good team. But the fact that there was a goal in every single period was good. That it shows that they were playing the full 60-minute game, which has been a consistent issue for the Flames. Consistent issue. Kadri scored, Coleman in the second, and then Backlund in the third. You have all your veterans showing up. Two of those players are on the same line. There was something there. And I think for the Flames, one of their biggest issues has obviously been sustaining that momentum. And their inability to get up for the full 60 minutes has severely impacted them this season. I mean, you can have as many fun comeback wins as you want, but you shouldn't be saving all of your work until that last, 20-minute deadline of the third period. I think that this is great. It shows that it's possible for the Flames to do this. And not only that, but you're getting scoring from Kadri has been scoring consistently, but Backlund and Coleman haven't scored in a while. So to have them back in the mix was pretty great. It was also Mackenzie Weegar's 500th game. Congratulations. Kind of cool that it lined up against his former team that traded him to Calgary. But if you watched any of the Flames TV post-game stuff, him and Jonathan Huberdeau were having so much fun. They were laughing at the desk with Brendan Parker and just enjoying themselves. And I think that is a very good sign because things have not been good for the Flames. So great to see that, the morale is still there. Also, can we talk about Dustin Wolf for a minute? This performance was his second shutout of the season. What on earth? What on earth is it about the Saddle Dome that takes over any of the poor road performance that possesses Dustin Wolf? He has the best save percentage out of every goaltender in the league at home. He has a .949 save percentage at home. How? I'm so confused because I know that obviously there are many factors that go go into traveling and playing on the road versus at home, the comfortability, familiarity, things like that. But what? After how tough he struggled recently to earn another shutout, I think that just shows you that Dustin Wolf isn't, you know, he is this next goaltender. It's just a matter of getting him fully comfortable and adjusted to the NHL. But this is huge. I can only imagine how down and out they have felt over the last month because, they started out great, kind of slid a little bit, went on that 4-game win streak, put themselves at the top of the division and were in a playoff spot for over a month, lost 4 straight, couldn't score more than 4 goals. There were a lot of things dragging them down. And that win was huge. It does boost the spirits and breathes life back into the situation and into the room. But I did want to note that the Panthers threw 30 hits. It was a very physical game as well. I know that's just kind of, it's what you expect from the Panthers. I think that over the last 2 to 3 years, they have been a more physical team, and that's kind of worked to their advantage, especially in the postseason. But the Flames didn't waver, didn't let it. Their penalty kill was successful 2 games in a row. That's great. That is a very good sign. It's great, and I want to see more of that. But coming up next, we are going to talk about the possibility of Kaapo Kakko being on the move from the New York Rangers, heading west to the Calgary Flames, and we will be right back after this. If you are looking for any last-minute holiday tickets or holiday gift ideas, let me talk to you about Game Time. Game Time is the perfect app to find yourself tickets to the live event of your choice at the prices you could want. Game Time is focused on togetherness this holiday season, which means you can bring people together at live events and experience something so much better. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only the best tickets at the incredible deals and with the best price, so you don't waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. I have used Game Time several times this season to go to Flames games, and I will more than likely be using it again later this season when I head back out to Calgary. Game Time Picks is the curation, and it makes it super easy to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. When I was looking for tickets to the Flames Oilers game, all I did was type in game, click on the event, and the best deals popped up for me. And I selected it, and I was done. All in 3 to 5 minutes tops. And I like the all-in pricing because you can toggling this feature on, and it shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. That is a huge deal for me. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your team every day. So last night, the Rangers scratched Kaapo Kakko. Healthy scratched. They made it very clear that it was a healthy scratch decision, and it wasn't a, illness, injury, or anything like that. They just, I think I saw a few Rangers fans and media saying, like, this feels like it is a situation where they're trying to see if they can play without him and what the best option might be to fill his spot. And I feel like we see his name constantly floating around in trade rumors. People haven't been happy with his production in the NHL since being drafted. People have, spoken poorly about the Rangers' handling of his development. And it's tough because, when you're the second overall pick, the pressure is on, right? But then, when you likely could have been, when you're playing more like a second round pick, I think that that's when people are very critical. They're always going to be critical of something, but would it make sense for the Flames to trade for Kaapo Kakko? And what might the Rangers be looking for? And we know that Craig Conroy has been kicking tires all season. He has not stopped working the phones. This is the longest it has been without a trade in Craig Conroy's tenure, and it's been that way for 2 months. So are we feeling crazy? Do we want to do something? Why not? So what does Kaapo Kakko have that the Flames might like? Well, let's see. He's 23 years old. That is a great start. Check. We know that the Flames are looking for young players to integrate into their organization and ones that will be here for a while. And we know that they're going to have to acquire them through trade. Kaapo Kakko is actually, a winger, but he has played center. It's not something he has done a lot, but he actually played center against the Flames when the Rangers came to town earlier this season, and he did very well. He won a few faceoffs, obviously, and the faceoff that he won in the second period led to the game-tying goal for the Rangers. So, I mean, obviously, you're not making these decisions off of one play. We are fully aware of this. However, there is still, like, there's reason why you may be interested in Kaapo Kakko. And I think with the Flames, they're fine taking on reclamation projects. They're fine taking on players that just need that change of scenery. And you're hoping that they don't come along with a questionable contract, like, let's say, like Dylan Cousins. But at the same time, like, if you have seen enough and are able to feel like this is the right decision, so be it. Like, we know what the Flames are right now and what we're likely looking at in terms of the window opening back up on true competitiveness. I'm talking like deep playoff runs. I'm not talking just a first round. Let's be honest with ourselves. But New York is reportedly looking for a physical defenseman in return. They don't have any that are ready to make the jump from the AHL to the NHL, and they're fine with forwards. There's like pretty much like a forward log jam within the Rangers organization. And based on some people that I spoke to about this last night, they said that 2 defensemen that they'd be interested in, Miramonov and Kevin Bahl. I do like them both. I think that, they're out there on the ice. I think that both have kind of dragged their defensive partners down a little bit this season. And I mean, what do you expect? It can't be perfect all the time. Kevin Bahl is not a top pairing defenseman. This is something we have gone over since he was acquired in the trade. third pairing defenseman at best. That's kind of just what it is. And I understand trying to get him to play higher up. So he kind of hoped that he matches Anderson's play. But I don't think that Kevin Bahl is the right D partner for Anderson. And Miromanov has been fine. He's definitely, no one is going to be perfect 100% of the time. We know this. But I would be fine moving on from them for just about anyone. Because I truly believe the Flames have enough defensive depth talent in their organization that they could make something work with one of the Wrangler prospects. We have seen them try to do it with Solo, Kuznetsov. Now you're talking Hunter Brustowicz, who not NHL ready this season, but Jeremy Poirier. Like, there are players that are deserving of this call up and this promotion, and you have to make room for them. So if you can do that while bringing in another young talent that has the ability to produce, it's just a matter of getting him there. Just why not? This would be a step in the right direction, in my honest opinion. The goal total for Kaapo Kakko is, it is tough, right? His highest is 18 goals, but you have to remember that the Rangers have fumbled his development incredibly. And definitely listen to Locked On Rangers to get more in-depth and insight into that, because John does a great job talking all things Rangers. And I feel like it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense. And you wouldn't be giving up something where it's like detrimental. I think that this would be good. This would be good. You bring in another forward. You move out some defensemen. You have Kuzmenko on an expiring contract. You might be able to move him closer to the deadline. Why not? Let's get some more pieces moving. But coming up next, we're going to talk about what is on our radar, what we should be looking out for ahead of this week here on Locked On Flames. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. My favorite thing about the FanDuel app is how easy it is to navigate, how user-friendly it is, especially for a technologically illiterate grandmother like myself. Just visit FanDuel.com today to join. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win, and if your first $5 bet wins. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, let's take a second here to talk about our new sponsor, and that would be Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help find any subscriptions you forgot about that you were paying for twice, or help find anything that you didn't even know you were paying for? That has definitely happened to me, and I've had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Having everything all in one place to just look at and see is great. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It's it brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Jess Belmosto. So heading into this week, we know it was a busy end of the week for the Flames. Obviously, Dan Vladar was placed on IR. Devin Cooley was and recalled on an emergency basis due to that injury. And then you had Andrei Kuzmenko also go out on IR due to a lower body injury. There was a lot happening between the paper transactions for some of the non-waiver exempt players and injuries. It was a busy end of the week. But Cooley was reassigned after the game on Saturday. So, he was recalled on an emergency basis. Could we see him called up again, later today? Should there be, any further extent that Vladar needs off? They do play tomorrow night against the Bruins. So and it's at home, so you could definitely lean on Wolf a little bit more. But, we'll have to see what Ryan Huska is cooking up. But Walker Dewar and Jacob Pelletier were also reassigned right after the game. Again, paper transaction. This just puts a pause on the clock for those 10 games, as well as the 30 days on an NHL roster, because it doesn't make sense to have them have the off days eating up that time. So good stuff. I think that the game against Boston tomorrow is going to be an absolute mid-off, considering how bad both teams have struggled this season. Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov come back to town as well, and both have been nothing but headaches for the Bruins. And every day we can thank Elias Lindholm for not signing that 7-8 year, $9 million extension in Calgary that Craig Conroy was begging him to sign. It was bad. We knew it wasn't going to be good at the time. And it's just, it's been about a year, and it's just, it hasn't gone well at all. But you don't wish ill will on these guys. You hope they find their game again. Nikita Zadorov, his biggest issue is, of course, still taking penalties. I'm pretty sure at this point he leads the NHL in penalty minutes, so we will have to see. Unfortunately, Jonathan Huberdeau's point streak has ended after 6 games. RIP point streak. You will never be forgotten. In all seriousness, it was great to see Huberdeau back. He had multi-point games multiple times, which is huge considering how I can't even say streaky, how non-productive he has been offensively in seasons past. And it's just nice to see progress with that. And it makes you feel a little less worse about the cap hit. But even with the $10.5 million cap hit, the Flames, they're doing great money management wise. Obviously that's going to change as contracts get reassigned or re-signed and things like that. But I think they have close to $16 million in cap space. I don't think there's ever been a time in the last 6 years that I have covered, or 5 years that I've covered the Flames, and they've had that much during during a season. An off season, yeah, I think the most they had is like $20 million. So it's great. There's flexibility there for the Flames, and you just love to see it. And of course, Dustin Wolf, man, like, can we just give him a standing ovation? We know that he has been great at home, leads all goaltenders in save percentages at home, 949. Like, he is the real deal. And I know the conversation as well. He hasn't played well on the road. Great. Just something that he can work towards, because he can't excel at every level across the board already. He has to take some learning lumps and let it happen. But keep an eye on Twitter today for any updates on any potential trades, recalls, or really your latest Flames news here. You can follow me at Jess Belmosto, and I will keep you all updated. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, your Calgary Flames every day. And I will see you tomorrow for a preview of the Flames Bruins game. Bye-bye.